What's going on, guys? Dave here with a brand new experiment for Football Manager 2016. I'm really excited about this one. It is Manchester United with Sir Alex Ferguson back at the helm. Luckily, I didn't have to do much work for this one. To get Sir Alex back as manager, I thought I'd have to create a new player on the editor, put all his stats in, all his history, etc. But he's actually still in the game as a director for Manchester United. So literally all I've had to do is change his club role to manager. Louis van Gaal is now without a club, so I've kept everything the same, just replacing Ferguson with Van Gaal. Basically, I did want to do this during FM15, but I didn't really get round to it. But we're going to click on Sir Alex here. Got all his stats the same as what they were default on the game. I'm not too sure how long this is going to last, so I can't set a future retirement for Sir Alex Ferguson. So I'm not too sure when he's going to retire or how long he's going to stay at United. So I've put a contract for another 15 years. I doubt he'll go on that long. He'll be 88 by then, but very decent stats indeed. He's got his 20s for determination and mental, a couple of 19s for discipline and motivation. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Anyway, at Manchester United, he's still got all the same players from this current season. So he's got the likes of De Gea, Darmian, and it would be really interesting for me to see how he does with Anthony Martial. Now, Ferguson's always been good with strikers normally. Martial could be a really good player for him, especially at just 19, so I'll be interested to see how he does on that front. Now, in competitions, obviously they're in the Champions League in the first season, in the best place playoff, which he should do well, so it'll be interesting to see how they can do in that, and also in the FA Cup and the Capital One Cup, and obviously the big Premier League. So guys, we're going to skip forward the first season now and see how good old Sir Alex does back at the helm of Manchester United. So guys, end of the first season for Sir Alex Ferguson at Manchester United. As you can see here, Man City and Chelsea jobs both available. So is that a hint of what's to come maybe? But I did mention it in the introduction. I've actually changed Sir Alex Ferguson's age, so he's a little bit younger. So hopefully he gets some more years out of him. I was worried that it may be a bit of a pointless video if he did like one season and retired. So that's the whole reason for it. So we're going to search for Alex Ferguson. There we go. Still manager of Manchester United. And obviously he's 45 years old just there. So we're going to see how Manchester United have done. And they finished third in the Premier League. Not bad at all. Check the competitions. And there we go. They had a really decent form. 85 points. 8 points behind the eventual winners Arsenal. But Manchester United drew 7, which may have been their downfall. Their goal difference was 52. And overall, a very decent season for them. I mean, the top 4 were miles ahead of anyone else. West Brom finishing 7th. Eventual teams going down: Sunderland, Villa and Bournemouth. So Manchester United were top for at the start of the season for a little while, but then mainly top 4, never dropped out there, which is very impressive. In other competitions, Arsenal won the treble. They won the Champions League and the Capital One Cup. But Manchester United did very well. They got to the quarterfinals of or more of out of every competition they were in. So the quarterfinals of the Champions League, where they lost to Bayern. Semi-finals of the FA Cup, where they lost to the eventual winners Norwich, and the quarterfinals against Spurs in the League Cup. So it is time now to see who Alex Ferguson brought in. So we've gone the history. He's brought in Palko Alcacer, Ashraf Lazer and Alexander Dragovic. So 22 million for Alcacer, scoring 13 goals in 14 starts. Lazar scoring just the one. He's a left-sided defender. Did play many games, but he got a decent rating of 7.44. And Dragovic, 21 games at centre-back and a 7.07 average rating. So for a January transfer, he wasn't too bad at all. No players left the club, only loan deals. And now we will see the schedule and see how they did as a whole. So in the Premier League, they had a very consistent run here. They got some good wins there, and it's just draws, I think, was their main downfall. I mean, 0-0 against Leicester, Arsenal against 0-0 there against the eventual champions. That could have changed it up a little bit. Silly little losses like this. 2-1 against Watford just there. Juan Mata grabbing the opening goal. Now, speaking of that, who was their top goal scorer? Juan Mata, average rated of 8.02. He was the best player for them. And Memphis Depay coming up close second. Most games was Juan Mata, closely followed by David De Gea, and top goal scorer was Memphis Depay, closely followed by Juan Mata with 18, and Rooney with 15, Alcacer with 11. Martial didn't play many at all, just the 9 goals. he wants to become a regular in the first team, which I'd agree with. Got some stunning stats here. And I thought maybe Martial could have been a more standout player for Sir Alex Ferguson's side. So what I'm expecting in the second season, Manchester United to kind of tighten up in areas. I think Ferguson will get rid of some dead wood if he needs to. And less draws. And I think Manchester United could go on to win the league this season. If not, they come very close, maybe even second place. And push maybe a little bit better in the domestic cups. I think they did pretty well in all their cups this season, finishing quarterfinals or semi-finals. So if they could match that or go one step further, it'd be very successful. So time to skip forward into second season and see how Manchester United will do. Okay, so second season now, and as you can see, insecure jobs, Sir Alex Ferguson at Manchester United. So does this mean he's had a poor season with the Red Devils? He's still manager of them, of course, and let's see, no negatives, still one positive. See how they've done this season, and they finished fourth in the Premier League. So they just managed to get into the Champions League places by some bit, to be fair to them. So they didn't do too bad on that front at all. Quickly see what sort of transfers they made, who Sir Alex has brought in. He's brought in, well, spent over £100 million this season. Brought in Laporte from Athletic, Domenico Berardi from Sassuolo, Willian from Chelsea, which is an interesting one, Corsia, I think, from Lille, and Segui from Saint Etienne. So, interested signings. Segui's only 1.4 million. Looks like he's one for the future. Willian, who could be a really decent signing. His value's rocketed up. No one really of note has gone. Valencia's left. Martial's gone out on loan, so maybe he's not really been getting the game time they expected. How did they do in all the other competitions? They knocked out in the semis of the Champions League, so they did really well on that front against Atletico Madrid. Knocked out in the third round of the FA Cup by Wycombe Wanderers. Now, that is a real shock there. What a game that must have been for Wycombe faithful and a neutral, of course. A Capital One Cup, they were knocked out in the fourth round by Arsenal. So domestically, I mean, in the cup-wise, they didn't do well at all. Continentally, they did pretty well to finish in the semis, but not the best of seasons for Manchester United overall, if you count it. Did okay to get back in the Champions League to make sure they stayed there. But in the English divisions and in the English Cups, they didn't do too well at all. Hopefully, Sir Alex Ferguson can build on this and have a much better season next time around. We'll quickly have a look at the overall stats. Top goal scorer this season was Memphis Depay, with Wayne Rooney in behind with 11 goals. Average rating wise, Memphis Depay looks like, no, Laporte with 42 games. He got 7.99 average rating, which is very decent. And Juan Mata just in behind them. Most amount of matches with Laporte again, who had a very, very decent season. Looks like he could be a really decent signing. Only 23 years old as well. And 31 games in the Premier League for him. So we're going to skip forward a season again, see how Manchester United could do, and see if they can build on that fourth place finish. So third season completed for Sir Alex Ferguson. Let's see how he has done this time round. He won't be a Sir, so I'll just type in Alex F, and he's still manager of Manchester United. Again, still that positive, and hopefully he's built on what he's done. Finished second this time, runners up in the Premier League. Schweinsteiger is the captain now. Key player is David De Gea. So, see how they did in the Premier League. Oh, finished 1 point off City. So close. A goal difference there. Dropped 1 goal behind City overall as well. Let's see if they slipped up anywhere that could have cost them the league. I mean, there may be a couple of loss against Arsenal, which was unlucky. In Southampton, they lost 2-1 to, which could have cost them the title. Other divisions, first knockout round against Real Madrid, not so good in the Champions League this season. They won the Capital One Cup though. Oh no, they didn't. Runners up, sorry, to Arsenal, and Arsenal knocked them out in the semi-finals. But Spurs won it again. I think they retained it. I think they won it last season as well. And PSG actually won the Champions League, but Manchester United a lot better. It was pretty close. I mean, anyone in the top four could have gone and snatched that in the end, but Manchester United very solid overall. The media predicted third and they finished second. Mainly stayed up there in the top four for the majority of the season. Transfer wise, which I didn't actually check, he spent 95 million this season, Sir Alex Ferguson, signing Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, Ricardo Rodriguez, left back from Wolfsburg, Gentilini from Basel, Icardi from Real Madrid for over 30 million, and again two more players from San Etienne. Are they good for youth academy wise? I'm not too sure. Leave a comment down below if they are pretty decent. I'll have to have a look at them. Belarus and Messaoudi. And outside, he's brought in 15 million. So Lazar's gone. Paddy McNair for a bit of money as well to Leicester. Jesse Lingard and Romero went out to Aston Villa in the end. Player-wise, who performed the best? Juan Mata looks like he had another fantastic season. Player of the matches, he got the most there. Top goal scorer is Icardi this season with 23 goals. Rooney dropping down to only 8 goals, not getting much game time whatsoever. He only started 7 Premier League games, so is the time up now for Wayne Rooney? If it is, I need to get rid of him. 255k a week there, but Sir Alex always did like Wayne Rooney, so I'll be interested to see how they do next season. Can they now go and push for that first title for Sir Alex Ferguson back? Let's see how he does in the 4th season. 4th season now. What can Sir Alex do? Will he finally win a title back for Manchester United? Still in charge there, of course. And second again. Wayne Rooney's still there as vice captain. 5 points this time. Arsenal did really well. They ended up winning it. Wolves. My team ended up coming last there. Troy Deeney, 3rd goal scorer. Always the teams that get relegated always have a really good goal scorer on this game for some strange reason. But Manchester United 2nd this time, getting ever so close to winning that first title back in the charge of Sir Alex Ferguson. Had a really decent form. Didn't start off very well at all, as you can see here. They had to build themselves up. I mean, they're only first for one stage in the season. But overall, they're knocked out in the semis again. Atletico Madrid knocked them out again. I haven't actually done the FA Cup final. That's today as we speak. And they lost in the semi-final of the Capital One Cup. I'll show you the overall stats and I'll holiday it one more day just to see if Manchester United can win that FA Cup. Transfer-wise, who did he bring in? Zivkovic came in from Ajax for 20 million. Didn't spend much at all this season, Sir Alex. Actually, Mile Klein came in from Lille again for 2.3 million. He's on a lot of players from Liga 1, to be fair to him. Vutov from Levski came in for 975k. He's a young striker, looks very, very decent indeed. Is he a regen at all? Yeah, he is. Love the mohawk. And then Chuechi from Anderlecht for 2.6 million. Sold Martial for 10.25 to Southampton. Obviously wasn't getting enough game time. Chris Smalling left to go to Stoke. And also Marcus Rashford went to Hull for 500k. So I'm going to holiday one more day to see how this FA Cup final goes. Right, so I've holidayed it. So quickly search again for Manchester United. And then we can round up this 4th season, is it? See how he does overall. So, did they win the FA Cup? No, they lost to Arsenal in the final in the end. Very annoying. Lost 2-0 in the end, unfortunately. So another title trophy that Manchester United could have won. Semi-finals of 2 competitions, finals of 1, and runners-up in Premier League. It's just Manchester United didn't have enough luck this season, but hopefully Sir Alex will have it next season and win that first title back. Top goal scorer Icardi, and 26 goals from him. Top average rating was Juan Mata. Seems like he has been one of the best Manchester United players for the past few years, and Laporte with the most man of matches. Level with Dragovic overall, who looks like he may be a regular now for Manchester United. Those two at the back look pretty solid. So skip forward another season. Can Sir Alex finally go and win that title? And can he actually push further in Europe? They finished in the semi-finals a couple of times now. Can he go and win a Champions League? Let's find out. So next season now, as you can see, Manchester United rivals, insecure jobs, Jurgen Klopp at Manchester City. So let's see, Sir Alex, has he pushed further and won his first title back as United manager? Still in charge, but has he done it? Yes, he has. Finally, he's won the league. Daley Blind still captain of United. Laporte now vice captain. And they finally won a league title for Manchester United. There we go. 94 points. How comprehensive is that for them? Finished champions. Almost, it was 8 points ahead of Arsenal. Strongest goal difference in the league. Scored 94 goals. Lost just 6 games. How strong a season that is from Manchester United Looked very, very solid indeed. Other competitions, has he gonna win the Champions League or has he gonna win other silverware? Let's find out. Has he gone and done it for the competitions? We're going senior and knocked out in the first round. He hasn't won any of the tournaments or competitions. Finished runner-up in the Community Shield. First knockout round of the Champions League. He knocked out by Bayern. In the FA Cup, they lost out to Spurs, who ended up winning it again. They seem to love that tournament. And semi-finals of the Capital One Cup against the eventual winner Southampton. But overall, Manchester United had a very decent season in the Premier League. Now, who did they bring in? 59 million they spent. Didn't receive any money in return. No real big players. Rojo out on a free, and I think that was about it. But Bentaleb came in from Spurs for almost 30 million pounds. Florenzi from Roma for 27.5. Then he seems to be bringing in a lot of younger players. They brought in Michael Wick from Middlesbrough and Mohamed Garish from Stade de Rennes for 2 million pounds. The squad overall, see how they did. The best average rating in the team was Ricardo Rodriguez. Player of the matches, he also got the most. And the top goal scorer this season was Mauro Icardi again. So, let's go on now to the next season. Can Sir Alex retain the Premier League going into the 5th, or is it the 6th season? Now I'm starting to lose count a little bit. The 6th season, and can he go and do it? So, 6th season now. Sir Alex, how have you done, sir? I always try to type in sir, but I don't think that comes up if you type it in. Alex Ferguson, still United manager. Has he won the title? Yes, he has. He's retained it. Laporte now promoted up to captain. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg is vice captain now. Key player is all of a sudden a regen, so we'll have to have a look at him in a second. But Premier League, they've retained it by 6 points this season. Decent goal difference of 50, so they may not have scored as many goals. 88 actually. Pretty decent indeed, but Manchester United winning the league again, which is very good indeed. Now, Champions League is the one they need to start pushing for. Have they won it this season? No, first knockout round again by PSG. The competition actually still in progress. I'm not sure who's going to win that. But FA Cup, they knocked out in the semis by the eventual winners Arsenal, and third round by Fulham in the Capital One Cup. Won the Community Shield though. They beat... not too sure who they beat in that one, but they won that overall. Transfer-wise, who did Sir Alex bring in? He spent 113 million, received almost 30 this season. Mohamedou Ndoye came in from Avant de Guangam. I haven't said that right at all. He loves young players from Liga. Look, Papa Mbaye from Nice. Jerry St. Just from Spurs for almost 20 million. Josef Toman from Sparta Prague. Hervé Goddard from Troyes in France. Nicolas from Lorient in France. Stephen El Shawari came in for 20.5 million. Now look at this guy actually. Nicolas, he signed for 34.5 million. Carvajal from Bayern for 15 million. And Craig Patterson for 1.7. We've got to look at this guy. 21 years old from France. He's worth 38.5 million and he's a defensive midfielder. Look how solid he looks. Jeez, those physical stats are absolutely incredible. Played quite a lot for United this season. Obviously, they signed him in January, though, so he got a decent half season under his belt for them there. Phil Jones left. Timothy Fosu Mensah went for almost 12 million. Alcacer also left. Player-wise, though, see how they did. Top rating this season was Juan Mata yet again. Most player of the matches were Laporte. Top goal scorer, Mauro Icardi. But it looks like they could have a really strong season. The amount of regions Sir Alex is signing. Imagine like when we started this episode, he was signing quite a few. They're all going to start coming up to the first team now. And this is where Manchester United could get really dangerous. Can he retain that title? Let's find out. Season 7 now for Sir Alex and Manchester United. Now, what will they do? You know what? Actually, no. I was going to click straight on the Premier League and see how they did as a surprise. But I am going to search Sir Alex again. If I can spell it right. If I can type correctly. Come on. What am I doing? There we go. Still manager of Manchester United. Again, no negatives. His stats are looking ever so good. Still only 51 now. Obviously, we took a chunk off his age. And he retained the Premier League. Very good. Everything is exactly the same as it was before. Captain, vice, and the key player is still Corentin Nicolas. I think that was him. I can't remember. But yeah, they've retained the Premier League. This time, with 84 points. Not as convincing as before, but still 8 points clear. Drew quite a few games, only lost the 4, goal difference of 40 in the end. Sheffield United in the Europa League in the end, very decent indeed. So let's see how they did in the other competitions. I think it's becoming inevitable now that Manchester United, if they're not going to win the league, are going to finish top 2. But they need to start pushing for a Champions League. Are they going to get it? Yes! Finally, they won a Champions League. Domenico Berardi, top goal scorer there. They won the Capital One Cup as well. Won the Community Shield. So it is a quadruple for Manchester United this season. Semi-final from Sheffield United, who won the FA Cup. Could have won 5 trophies, which would have been amazing. But they'll have a chance to beat Sheffield United in the Community Shield next season as well. But a very, very successful season for Manchester United. Look how long they were top 4. No one could knock them off their perch. They were brilliant. Chance of history. Only spent 44 million. Almost received as much as that. About 43. Brought in Patrice Basoli from Belenenses in Portugal. He looked incredible. How did they get him on a free? 55 million he's worth. Jeez, he scored 22 goals in 39 starts. His physical stats, 18 finishing. He's an Italian lad. He looks absolutely incredible. Scoring for fun in Portugal. Got him on a free. Probably one of Sir Alex Ferguson's most best, whatever, incredible pieces of transfer work you'll ever see. Rui Pedro from Porto. Dennis Gullit from West Ham. Marcato from Lazio, Ortega from Lanús, and Madani from Racing Lens. 43 million they brought in. Who did they sell for the most amount of money? 14 million for Vutov. Zikovic left for 11.75. St. Just went to Borussia Mönchengladbach for 10.5. Corsia went to West Brom, and Hardwidge went to Wolves. So very impressive. Willian's actually left on a free transfer now. Is he gone anywhere of note? Torino, jeez. Senior squad again. Best average rating this season was Laporte again. Him and Mata having very decent seasons. Overall player of the match, most amount of matches, Laporte and Dragovic yet again. And top goal scorer this season was Patrice Basole. Despite coming in pretty late, he got top goal scorer with 22 goals. Not bad at all. Manchester United, Premier League winners, Champions League winners under Sir Alex Ferguson. Will they retain it? We're going to do 10 seasons overall. We're going to go on to the 8th one now. Let's see how Sir Alex can do. Next season, I'm just going to click straight onto the Premier League. How have Manchester United done? Won it again by 6 points this time. Only 83 points, but a very decent display again from Manchester United. Sir Alex Ferguson has won it again. Not much change player-wise, it seems, with the captain, vice-captain, and key player. But competitions, have they retained? Wow. Loads here. Won the Club World Championship, very decent indeed. Champions League, they finished in the semi-finals against PSG. Man City actually went and won that. They won the European Super Cup as well. Knocked out the 3rd round of the FA Cup. Runners-up of the Capital One Cup and a winner of the Community Shield. So overall, a pretty hectic season for United in 7 competitions overall. Obviously, the Community Shield's only 1 game. Super Cup's only 1 game. But had a lot to deal with. A little bit of a break towards Christmas as well, being in the Club World Championship. So for them to win the league is still very decent. Another couple of trophies under their belt. They've won 1, 2, 3, 4 overall. Could have even won 5, finishing the final of the Capital One Cup. 6 if they did slightly better in the Champions League. But overall, very good season. Only signed 3 players this season for 2.82 million. It shows that Manchester United don't need to do much improving. Maybe those youth players are coming in. They've got almost £60 million worth of players in. Martin Krall, Barry de Graaf, and Ioni Benchir. So not many big names there. Fee-wise, they sold quite a few players. 16 million for Pedro El Shawari, went to Chelsea as well. Luke Shaw left. Gintelini, Vaughan, Whedon, and Darmian finally left as well. Player-wise, again, we'll have a quick look at that. Top goal scorer this season was Patrice Basoli, who seems to be one hell of a player. Memphis Depay still there, finishing just behind him. Top average rating was for Laporte yet again, and he also got the most player of the matches. Nicholas with the most assists at defensive midfielder, who looks pretty decent. £58 million, marking of 20, passing of 17. He looks absolutely incredible. Manchester United starting to be really dominant now in the world of football, but they need to start winning more Champions Leagues. They're doing very well in them. If they can win a couple of Champions Leagues on the bounce, it will prove to be one of the most successful and most impressive football teams of all time. Will Manchester United be so dominant this season? Premier League, won it again, 92 points this time, lost just twice, so impressive. Basole, look at the amount of players all finishing on 20 goals. Bittel from City, Basole for United, Tevez from Arsenal, what a name. So United again, very dominant there on that front. Again, no change. Captain, vice-captain, keeper are all the same for United. Senior competitions, quarter-final of the Champions League, not so good there. Won the FA Cup, won the Community Shield, fourth round of the Capital One Cup. But again, a very comprehensive time for Manchester United. Didn't start too well, but overall, first and second, mainly in first, and they ended up winning it. Sir Alex doing a sterling job, and again, not much shinings at all. So he's kind of going how he used to go. He didn't tend to spend much money at United in his later years. He maybe signed one marquee player, but didn't really spend much on any other players. He's spending it mainly on youth players. Oren Nyland, who's a pretty old goalkeeper. Not too sure if he's going to be a starter. David Krešl and Peter Straka from Slovan Liberec. Maybe they've got a feed with them. I'm not too sure. Signed two players from there. Received 22 million this season. Got Chiwesi, went to Arsenal for 13.75 million. Not many players left now that we know of, so we'll have a quick look again at player-wise. Let's see if we know many of them. Top assist this season was Højbjerg. Top goal scorer was Basole, as expected. Top average rating was Dragovic again. Best man of the matches was also Dragovic. So if we quickly, actually we'll do it at the end of the 10th season, which is the next season, is it? Or yeah, it'll be the next season or the season after. Can't quite think. It'll be the season after. So we'll quickly go do 2 more years and then we'll be completed. So the penultimate season, Manchester United really need to try and get a another Champions League. They've won the league yet again. Fantastic season for Manchester United again. How many Premier League is that on the bounce? I've lost count. Basole with 25 league goals in 38 games. Oh, I don't even know if he played that many. 90 points overall for United. 4 losses. Very impressive indeed. How did they get on in the other competitions? So that is the main question for us here. That's what we are going to check. They're in the final of the Champions League, which we'll have to skip forward another week to check that. The runner-up of the Community Shield, they lost to City there. Runner-up in the FA Cup, they lost to Bournemouth. And knocked out in the third round of the Capital One Cup. So in Cups, they didn't do so well. But the Champions League, they've got Real Madrid. I haven't holidayed far enough, so we'll have to skip forward another week. But transfer history-wise, brought in a few players. 44 million this season. They spent main money on Steven Flecken from Feyenoord, Felipius from Olympiacos, Yigit from Ajax, Olivier from Chelsea, Mechelen sold them Olivier Braque, and Valencia sold them Canellas, I think it was. Manchester United only received 18.25 million, and it was all for one player. Messaoudi went to PSG. So we'll skip forward another week, see if Manchester United can win that Champions League. To skip forward another, how long did I say? A week. And Manchester United, just quickly see if they won the Champions League. It would have been a huge achievement if they did. Moment of truth, runners up, lost in the Champions League final to Real Madrid. 4-3 after extra time. What a game that must have been. Quickly have a quick look at that. And there we go. Manchester United went behind just after 5 minutes. Varane scoring there. Berardi making it 2-1 after 17 minutes. It went to 2-all Lorenzo. And then Manchester United went 3-2 up. Steven Flecken scoring. But Oviedo scoring for Real Madrid. The equaliser there. And Emilio Lorenzo ended up getting them the final goal. Now, who got man of the match? It must have been probably this guy, Loreno, was it? Not 100% sure who got man of the match, but overall, looks like a really entertaining Champions League final. 70,000 were in attendance for that one, but Manchester United, unfortunately, letting that one go. So we're going to move on one more season now. See Sir Alex's final season for this video. There may be a part 2, I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you want to see that. But quickly now, we'll go on to the final season. So on to that final season for Manchester United. Jumping straight into the Premier League. They've won it again. Only by 2 points though this season. 41 goal difference. So Manchester United overall 80 points. Very decent indeed. Basole looks like he got their top goal scorer again. Captain, vice captain, and key player remaining intact for a number of seasons now. Won the Champions League though. What a way to end this episode. Semi-finals of the FA Cup. Won the Community Shield. 4th round of the Capital One Cup. Lost in the Manchester Derby in the semis of the FA Cup. So that was a bit of a wounder. But I think the double or the treble, if you're including the Community Shield, would have made up for that. What a win. The Champions League. Transfer-wise, he spent 50 million this season. Only received just under 7, bringing in quite a few players, mainly youth players that we probably haven't heard of now. Karakok from Sheffield United, 14.5 million. Ruben Ferreira from PSG, Sasa Ilic from Olympiacos, Vaclav Pavlik from Sparta Prague, Roland Sasbo from FC Barca, Domingo Calvo from Villarreal C team, Miroslav Hrubi from Yabanek, and Felbab from Red Star. Top goal scorer this season, big man Basole with 31 goals. Top assist was 16. Man of the match is 11 for him as well. And top rating, Basole, who absolutely seemed to have bossed it for Manchester United. Now, the team that we're going to have a quick look at. Who is still there? David De Gea. Let's see if he's been their main goalkeeper for the last 10 years. He has as well. Played for over 30 games in every season. Very impressive there from David De Gea. He's been the main goalkeeper for the last 10 years. Anyone else there? Laporte, who's been absolutely outstanding by the looks of things there. He's played mainly for the last 10 years. Who else have we got there? Let's just go by age, really. See the oldest players. Ricardo Rodriguez. Memphis Depay still there. It's all valued at 13 mil. He's played a big part of their success in recent years. Berardi. Januzaj still there as well. How has he done? I mean, only played 5 last season. He's been a backup player for about the past 20 years for Manchester United. Obviously, they've got some world-class players. Now, what I want to know quickly is, when did Wayne Rooney leave? He's the manager of Hull. So, I'm not too sure what happened there. Manager of Hull, achievement-wise, left Man U in 2019. Did he retire? No, he just got released. And then he went manager of Wolves. And did he get him relegated? Yeah, he did. Got relegated to League One and sacked. Bristol City came in for him. He got left there. And he recently went to join a Hull where he finished 10th in the Championship. So that's an interesting one for you. But Manchester United, huge changes over the last 10 years. But one thing is kept mainly the same, and that's Sir Alex Ferguson's been a hugely successful manager back at Old Trafford. Huge success, a couple of Champions Leagues, many league titles. I would have to count it quickly how many titles they've won in the past few years before we end the video. So they've won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 titles in a row. How impressive is that? If they, I don't know, if they started getting more Champions Leagues, that would have been incredible. 7 titles in a row for Manchester United, and Sir Alex was absolutely impressive. It's been something different, something fantastic to look at, to be fair. But if you guys do want to see a part 2, I'm not too sure if I'm going to do one. If you guys want to see one, please do drop it a like or leave a comment down below. Do drop it a like if you have enjoyed it though. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Going to be more experiments such as this. Maybe, I'm not too sure if I'm going to be focusing on Let's Plays as much this year, but I've really enjoyed something like this. If you guys have got any experiment ideas, please let me know. If you want to see a manager back at his old club, you want to see a manager at a different club, if you want to see old clubs meet new players, whatever, getting confused with myself, but leave me a comment down below. Follow me over on Twitter, which is at DaveAsAPartyFM. All the links are in the description. Talk to me on there. If you follow me, I'll follow you back. And guys, I'll catch you all next time. See ya!